Alright, morning. Alright, you know, yeah, this board looks a little crazier than last time. That last question, there's something about it that I just did not remember to take into consideration, right? So let's look at today's date again. Okay, today, right? You know, let's stay consistent, right? So alright, that means alright, so next week will be 15, 16, 17, and then 22, 23, 24, and then 29, 30. No, I don't know who knows that, right? I don't know. I can never seem to remember which one of the months wait, I'm typing in my password, so yeah, hold on, let me take a look. Yeah, see, I don't remember which months have 31 days. I barely remember that. Okay, so yeah, so what, week 2, 3, 4, something like that, right? Anyhow, yeah, so when I was doing this madness, something actually occurred to me that I did not. What? Wait, hold on. Did I snooze it? I don't know. I probably decided to go off again. Okay, so the original thing in the question that I was doing, so naturally the blue was 3 red. Cool. And then of course figuring out what it was that, right? So if, for example, it was 5 red and 5 of them times 3 would be 15, the blue would be 15, right? So therefore you'd end up with that if R was equal to 5. Now here's another neater thing that could have happened. Right? If B is equal to 3R, then we could just call this 3R instead. And that makes sense. Because, I mean, R plus 3R is the same as what? 1R plus 3R, where you would have had what? R over 4R. And all of that makes sense. Why is that? Because you can actually see it. This R is 5, and the 20 would have been what? 4 times 5. Right? So if I had picked up on this, then you know the gymnastics would have been a little bit, you know, we would have stuck the landing a little better, right? So that was going on. So fine. That means anytime we do a substitution, we're going to end up with the number up top over 4 times the denominator. That's what would have happened, right? But then now, that is only one aspect of the relationship, right? However, now, what we wanted was to go from this to explaining why when you add 12 up here and okay, well, r plus b is this. Now if r plus b is r plus 3r and that is 4r, then we can write 4r plus 12. So we are moving from this to that. We're changing the numerator and the denominator. But we're not just doing that. We want to make it equal to the probability of what? Of a 50-50. Right? 0.5 is 1 over 2, 0.5 is 5 over 10, 50 over 100, you still get 1 over 2. This is what would have told us the number that we would need in order to give us this possibility for sure. Because no other substitution, because as we did when we substituted 4, 5, 7, 8, and 9, we never got 1 over 2. We ended up with some other number, right? And it actually proved this to be correct because it's almost like you add 1 to this and yeah, it's 1 over, yep, yeah. Because, okay, using this as an example, right? If I were to use 4 here and 4 here, this would have been 16, this would have been 28, right? So let me just write it, 16 over 28. Now if I add 1 to this and 4 to this, I get the next possibility. So I'd end up with this. So even when we're following this right here, it still kind of follow the 1 up here, 4 down here kind of thing. If you add 1 to 16, you get that. You add 4 to this, you get that. So yeah, this was our guessing way of getting the answer, right? So therefore, it wasn't quite 4, it wasn't quite 5. Then when we go again next time, we end up with what? Right? So in a way we got lucky by using that. Right? We got lucky. So that's what we did before. But now let's actually, let's actually try the algebra part of it now. Let's see if we still go end up with the answer that we're looking for. So so we'll cross multiply. So we'll have 2 times the r 2 times the r plus 12 and 4r plus 12. R times 2, you have the 2r. 12 times 2, you have the 24. And this does not change. And now we're just going to group like terms, right? So let's see. You're minus 12 from here, and you're minus 12 from here, you'll end up with 2r plus 12 is equal to, yeah. So you'll end up with that. Now, for me, I have a bit of, what you call it now? What you call it? Precedence, order, right? In terms of I like to move from left to right. So I would like this over. So meaning I want my 4r over here and my 2r plus 12 over here. So I always want my letters on the left. I don't like seeing my letters on the right. Right? So we're going to minus 2r from here minus 2r from here. Right? So now that's going to be 2r. This is going to be 0 plus 12, which is just 12. I know we only have one more step. So we divide that by 2. And we divide that by 2. So, if we wanted to solve it using the algebra, then that's what we would have had to do. And yeah, I mean, now by doing this, you put that in here, 6 times 3, the amount of blue would need to be 18, right? And if you put that in here, we would have gotten the 1 over 2. Alright, 6 plus 12, we get the 18. 24 plus 12, 36. 18 over 36 is equal to that. So, this is what my intention was. Right? And it's kind of funny that I never make the connection between the B and the 3R. Substitute so imagine that you have that. You have R over R plus B. Now, obviously, just looking at that, it don't really add up to much. But if you replace the B with this 3R, a lot of things start making sense. You put the 1 in front of that. That is why the 1 plus the 3 give us this 4. And if you wanted to, you could have put a 1 right there. So it would show the relationship between up here and down here. If you have 1 R up here, you have 4 of them down there. Yeah. So that was, I'm not gonna lie, for a multiple choice question, that was kind of, yeah, it was kind of deep. Wait there. No, sir. Did I do that? Did I really make that mistake this morning? Hold on. Let me look. Yeah, man. My tablet is on 3%. Oh, man. Oh, God. Oh, no. Alright, let me see where we're at. No. Why am I going so far? We're at test number 5? Hold on. Okay, I was exploring some of the questions. Okay, so last time we were doing this. Okay. Alright, so now we're here. I don't know. I might have to improvise now. Let me see if I can. Boy, every time you need something you can't find it. I am looking for a USB right now, because I'm gonna try to transfer this to my laptop so that I can, you know. But I don't know where it is. Why do I never know where these things are? Oh wait, I think I found it. Watch out. All right, so yeah, let me just try and really. Come on, man. I really hope that it's picking up the that it's picking up my device. Oh, it did it. Okay, you know what? Let's see. Yeah. Alright, hold on there now. Alright. Is that where it is? No. Where is it? There we go. Right. Okay, alright. So let me just take this folder. Even though I don't necessarily want the entire folder. Alright, let's do that. Well, okay, let me just do some questions while I wait on this thing to copy. I don't know, why is it taking so long? You know what happened? This is the problem that I have, right? You see, when you try to copy from the folder itself, it tries to calculate the amount of time it's going to take to copy the oh, see? So now you want to start working. All right. Yeah. Let's see how much I can get. I mean, it's connected to the computer, so I don't think it's going to die right away. I don't think so. So maybe I can just do some of the questions that I'm seeing. All right. What percentage of Alright, so this is question 2, right? So question 2 is, you know, what percentage of 36 is 24? I mean, the easiest thing to do is put 24 over 36, right? So you can do that. Now for me, I like to I like to use the prime numbers to see what's going to happen, because that can tell me something. Alright, so a 2 by 2 there, a 2 by 2 there, a 3 here, and a 3 there. So this kind of give you your answer, right? Because if you have 2 over 3, I mean, you kind of know, right? You always remember 1 over 3 as 33.3, right? You know, your 2 over 3 is usually 66.6 or 7, right? But it's, you know, it's recurring, right? So this would be recurring, this would be recurring. So yeah, this would be 66.6 or 7 or whatever, right? No, the answer they have is actually what they have written down is 66 and 2 over 3%. That's how they have it written on theirs, right? So that's one way of doing it. Another way of doing that is, I mean, so if I'm going to be literal, I'm writing on box, right? I don't know what the percentage is of 36 is that. You're basically asking the exact same thing. The only difference is that this is, you know, it's a little bit more algebra involved. That's it. But you're doing the same thing. You're doing the exact same thing. Because all you so okay. Multiply 100 by both sides, you end up with 36 times box equal this. And then you just go and divide this by 36 and this by 36. It's the same thing. It is exactly the same thing. This explains why you put this over that and then multiply it by 100. Right? That's what this does. This is just the literal translation. Right? So for example, this the box over 100 is asking what percentage of 36. So all of this is what this is. And then is equal, and then that is 24. That's all that is. Yeah? And you achieve the same thing. But 12 times 2 over 12 times 3, 2 over 3 times that. Right? So you would basically divide 200 by 3. Now, if we never have a calculator and we wanted to prove that, we could do it. Right? So we have 3 here, 2 here, put the zeros there. It's not going to make much difference because you will see. You will see. Right? So underline the 2. 2 can't buy anything. Pretend that is 20. 20 is bigger than 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of the things. Okay, so you have 6. 18 plus 2 give 20, so you put the 2 there. That's 20 again. 20 is bigger than 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you notice you're always going to get. Yeah? So that's what you're going to get over and over and over. Why did this thing do that to me? Alright. I was in the middle of the transfer and it decided to abandon me in mid-transfer. What am I tell you? It's alright. You see, that's why you don't copy from folder. What you do is you copy the files. Ah, that was fun. Ah, man, oh man. Alright. What? You know what? No. I'm just going to, Control A. Control A. Select all. Right click and copy. Yeah. Alright. I'm going to go to that folder that I had. Where is it? Yeah, why did I no, I have to. Alright, good. Alright, yeah. Yeah, that's fine. That is perfectly fine. Alright. Yeah, so hopefully it doesn't give me another catastrophic failure while I'm doing that copy. Okay, I'm trying to read the question from afar. And I'm also, okay. Alright. So they're asking about a ship traveling on a bearing of 270 degrees. Why top of curve? Why? There we go. Alright. So that's our north line here. Now, this part from here to here is 180. So you know that the 180 is south. So all we have to do is add one more. We just have to add one more 90 to that. Right, so that part is your 180, this part is your 90. When you add the two of them, you get 270. Right, you move from here to here by 180, and then you move another 90 to get to the 270. Right, and so yeah, we're going to be west. Yeah, that's the answer to that question there. Right, so the degree always start from the north coming back around. Yeah, I think this is as complicated as I try to make these questions about bearings on the multiple choice. Oh wait, what number was this again? Let me look at the number. Oh, that was number 7. Okay, yeah. Now you ever have that awkward moment where you want to use a device but you don't want to touch the device too tough because it might affect the plug that's attached to the because if I make one slight move, the entire transfer will cancel. So I have to be very careful about what I'm doing. Alright, we have an algebra question. 9xy squared plus 12y. 9xy squared plus 12y, and that's divided by 81y. Alright, so they want that reduced to its lowest terms. No. You can divide all of them by some element of 3 and some element of y, because they all have a y in there and they all have some relative of 3. right? So you can do that. You can divide this by 3, that by 3, this by 3. But also, let's see what happened. If you were to write your 9 and 12, and you were to do this, then your HCF would have to be 3. Mind you, let's add 81 to that and see if that would also hold true here. It would. Because that's the one thing that you can put in common with all 3 of them. So therefore, you can divide each of them by 3. You can also divide each of them by y. So, if you divide this by 3 and y, you'd end up with what? 3xy. You divide that by 3 and y, you'd end up with just what? 4. And if you divide this by 3 and y, you'd end up with what? Just 27. Yeah. So based on that, our answer for this number 6 is actually C. Yeah, so we have that one. Oh, look at that. Number 5 is a, what do you call it now? It's a consumer arithmetic question. And hold on, you know, is the eraser I look for. And so now, if I rested this thing on it, me not take no chance, you know. Me not take no chance. Me not do it. Not today. Can you see, you know, I'm going to move that. And that's the end of the transfer. So, here we go. Yeah. That's okay. That's okay. Me not take no chance. Alright, so let's see what number 5 says now. Number 5 says, alright, a book was bought for $99. What else? Oh, okay. What was the, let me just write, what was the selling price if it was sold at a profit of 32%. All right. So this here based on what they ask us, our unknown is the S, right? And if it's a profit, it means that we're going to add this to, okay, so just so that we can make it make sense. this is going to be, and I just want to write it in the simplest way possible without going into all of the madness of the algebra, right? So I want to write, okay, let me write it like this. Let me write 132 times C is equal to 100S. Right? Just so that makes sense. So as it pertains to the when you have a profit percent, that's the direction we're going in. If it was a loss, we would minus the 32 from the 100, right? So what we do is we take this and add it to the 100, right? Now, again, I could just explain how we got to that, right? So let's say we had this, and you know that that is 100 times right? Now, this right here, so, is this number. So what we could do is write, instead of this, because I call PPT profit percent, right? Let us write the number 32 here instead. Alright, let's write the number 32. Now that I have that, I can multiply both sides by C. So let me do that and see what happens. Right? Let me see what happens when I multiply both sides by C. So if I multiply this by C and this by C, I end up with what? I end up with 32C equal to 100 times S minus C. Right? So let's cancel that. Let's simplify that part right here. Right? So now this becomes 32C. Now you do the distribution, you have 100S minus 100C. So let's not waste any time with that. We know what going to happen there. We're going to have 100S minus 100C. Now how we went from this to what we have up here is that we are going to add, we're going to add 100C to the right and 100C to the left. So when this happens now, 100C plus the 32C give us that up here. The 100S minus 100C plus 100C, that is plus 100, I mean 0 is what I meant to say. when you do that, yeah, it's 100S plus 0, so it's just 100S on that side. So that's how we went from this to that up there. So I just wanted to explain that. So now we can confidently say that if we did do the algebra and end up here anyway, we can just do this. Right? So this is the algebra, but this is the final thing. So you can skip this and go straight to this in order to do what you need to do. Right? So when it's a profit percent, always remember you're just going to add whatever so if this was 17, it's 117. If it was 5, it's 105. If this was 27, 127. So always add the percent to the 100 and then make that in front of C equal to 100S. Once you can remember that, you will always be able to do this question. Now they want us to know what S is. Well, this is the S, so we need to divide that by 100 just to get S by itself. So we need to divide this by 100 as well, right? So therefore S is equal to that. Yeah. Now, they never make this easy because you have to multiply 132 by 99 and then divide it by 100. Alright, fine. So, let me use a little cheat code then. Alright, let me use a little cheat code. So, 132 times 99, let me just say 100 minus 1. Right? Let me do that. Maybe that would be better. So let me write this. That's what happened when you multiplied 132 by the 100 right there. And then you multiply it by the 1, subtract it from that. So therefore we're going to subtract 132 from that. So we have our 8, carry the 1, 4 plus 6, carry the 1, 2 minus 2, yeah. See? Yeah, man, the answer is there. So now when we divide this by 100, we jump back 2 times. So we're going to jump back 2 times. And our answer is going to be as soon as the transfer is done, I can actually show you. So the answer for this is actually D, right? So the answer for number 5 is actually D. But I'll write the answers that they had, right? So you had A, B, C, and D, right? Alright, we have 31.68. Alright, 31.68. 67.32. 75. And then 130. Yeah. So based on all of what we did, then yes, D is definitely our answer for that question right there. Yeah. So let me see if there's anything else. Oh, there's something about the number line. Oh, yeah. All right. Yeah, number line questions, if you are familiar, they get easier. So just so that it makes sense, right? Just so that it makes sense. You have this and you have this. So this now This will just be greater than, this will be greater than or equal to. Right? Just so that we can make sense of that. Right? It's weird, but it kind of makes sense. Right? You don't fill this in, so you don't have as many lines. You fill this in, this have more lines. So if we're being literal, right? Yeah? 1, 2 lines. This little empty. The more full it is, the more lines it have. 1, 2, yeah, you see? 3 lines here, 2 lines there. That's how I rationalize dealing with the number line. So now we have a number line where we have number 5 pointing that way. So the thing is, it needs to be equal to 5 or greater than 5. So therefore, let us look at the answers that they give us right here. They give us x is less than or equal to 5. We have x greater than or equal to 5. We have x greater than 5 and x less than 5. So let us see now. How do we know which one is right? Well, automatically we can eliminate what? Let's get rid of this and that. That's the beauty about doing maths, right? You can look at 2 answers and say, here what? Them they can't work. Because what? This is associated with that. It cannot be greater nor lesser because our line is what? Is this. With a in other words, it's a shaded in circle. Once it's a shaded in circle, it either is less than or equal or greater than or equal to. Now it's moving beyond the 5 in that direction. So it can't be less because less would be 4, 3, 2, 1 going back. So it can't be A neither. Because it has to be more than. So just like that, you actually select the correct answer. And you don't even. So sometimes it's the process of elimination, right? That's what it is. So okay, that was number 8. That was number 8, right? So far we did number 8, 7, 6, and 5. We did number 2. We're not even the 3 yet. Alright, okay. There's this one for number 4, which is kind of funny, right? So they ask if x is a positive even number, x is a positive even number, then what would x plus 2, so meaning what would be the outcome of x plus 2? Alright, hold on. Let me get rid of that on this. Oh, we're done with number 8 anyway. So yeah, they want to know what would happen with x plus 2. I mean, use any of the even numbers you have. If you have 6, if you have 8, if you have 10, what happens to them when you add 2? You add 2, you add 2, you add 2. What happens to them? Well, it becomes the next number in the sequence. So all of the numbers end up being even, all the same, so it don't change. So the options that they gave us were, does it become odd, does it become even, does it become prime or does it become negative? So let's go now. Alright, so definitely not negative. That's a waste of time. There's only one even number that is prime, so we can eliminate that too. Because most prime numbers are odd, but not every odd number is prime. So that's a weird little distinction there. Also, there's not one odd number there, so we can eliminate that as well. So yeah, you just find your answer without really doing any work, right? So yeah, number 3 now. This one is very wordy, right? So now I forgot right whole leap. Which number is this? This is number. Alright, that's number 3. So number 3, it's very, very wordy. Very wordy. Right? The square root of oh my god. The square root of the difference of their squares. Look at that. Alright, let's just say that the SQ means squares, right? The square root of their difference square root of their difference to b squared yeah, wording can be very strange. So this is A, this is B. Now we're going to go to C and D, and we're moving to number 3 right there. The square root of their difference squared. Hold on. The square root and then the last one is the square root of their difference. Oh. Okay. Alright, so those are the 4 options there. And the question now is, if A and B are 2 integers such that what is it now? A greater than B. Now, more than likely, I'm going to have to color code that. So A and B are two integers such that A greater than B, then alright, so now we have this. Okay. Alright, yeah, this is why I don't like this is why I don't like writing out these questions, because it's so much. Yeah. Alright, so let's see now. The square root of their difference. Okay, so the problem with this one is that, alright, this is the square root, but the difference between A and B is just this. So if you want to answer the question, the best thing to do is to actually do the translation so that it makes sense, right? The square root of their difference, that's what it looks like. Therefore, this cannot be. We're not even going to entertain that, right? So we can just eliminate that. That not going to work. So let's go up to C. The square root of their difference squared. Okay, let me tell you what that looks like. That looks like, and I might have to draw it up here. So for C, just so that C makes sense, the square root of their difference squared. What is their difference squared? Their difference squared is A minus B. All of that is squared, and you put a square root over all of that. The square root of their difference squared looks like that. And it don't look nothing like what we have right here. No. So therefore, C is out as well, right? So yeah, we can't use that. Alright? So let me actually draw it right here too. Square root of their difference squared. Yeah. So it wouldn't be it wouldn't be C or D. So now let's go up to B now. B now, the square root of their difference to B squared? What does that even mean? To be squared, it what? Like you never square it yet? So what that mean? Yeah, I'm trying to even figure out what, like, alright, square root of their difference, that is to be squared. So what, it just a wait in limbo? Like, okay, it's A, oh, sorry, hold on. These people are trying to see if I am a human being. Alright, there we go. Alright, yeah, alright, this, come on, this just don't make no sense. It don't make no sense. Because I don't know, I don't understand, like, what does it mean? What does it mean? To be squared? Like, I've never seen a situation where something is waiting to be squared. Okay, hold on. Let me see if I can make sense of that. The only way I can make sense of that is unless you had something like A minus B is equal to like the square root of something else, and then that is to be squared, because You have to go square that in order for, you know. I don't know. Because that is to be squared, right? You must square this side and square this side as well. So that, to me, would mean the a minus b is to be squared. But, yeah, what are we even doing with that? The square root of their difference. Alright, you know what? Let me write it as best as I think what they mean is, right? The square root. Oh, okay. I think I know. Alright. Yeah, it's probably this foolishness. That's probably what this is. Yeah, it's probably this. Chances are. Yeah, that's it. That's it. That's it. There's no other explanation for that. Right? So b means the square root of the difference, all of it to be squared. Something like that. Yeah. Anyway, that don't make no sense neither. Right? The fact that it even perplexes you is like, no. Let's not waste our time. See there? So by the process of elimination, even if we did not know the answer, that's the correct one. Because for one, that is the difference of their squares. You have found the square root of the difference of their squares. Because if you wrote this by itself, what is this called? That's the difference of squares. When you square root it, it's the square root of the difference of their squares. So that has to be the right answer. But let's say you never know, you eliminate all the foolishness. See? That's what D means. D looks like this. C looks like that. B looks like that. None of them match this. Yeah? So sometimes knowing what is wrong is as important as what is right. Yeah. So yeah. Alright, I think I have completed the transfer, but I go do the last one for this page. Alright, this one is a simple question, but it's what they do is they do it with the intent to catch you slipping, right? That's what they want to do. So number one, right? You have this. Yeah. And as simple as it looks, you know, but it's fine, because what you're going to do is, well, you're going to do that. Because when you're dividing, in fact, there's another way you can do this. But you know, it involves work, you know? Because watch this. Let's say for example you wanted to write 2 raised to the 12, and you wanted to say that this is multiplied by 1 over, no, lie, hold on, let me make sure it says the right thing I'm saying. You're not going to multiply it neither. This go stay the same. This have to stay the same. What we're changing is 2 to the minus 3. Right, so it's this. Right. No, that's the trick to this. So you can do it like this. Now, watch this. This go make it, the whole concept of this will make a lot more sense if you do it like this. Now if you change that, change this sign to a multiply now. This now becomes 2 to the 3 over 1. Just like how this is 2 to the 12 over 1. So yeah. So now they're on the same level now. They're on the same level now. So now you can just treat them like 2 to the 12 plus 3, resulting in your, Yeah. That would make more sense. That would make more sense. I would think so. I would think so. Yeah. Now, because I'm going to go on the road, I might just come back and finish the rest of this later. Right? I'm not gonna have no excuse. Right? I want to finish the majority of this paper by the time I come back. Right? So that means I'm going to have number 9 to number 20. Alright, let me actually show you. Alright, let me actually show you. Alright, so we have 9 to 20. Right, we have that. We have what else now? 21 to 28. Right? I'll come back and do them later. For sure. 29 to 35. Alright, so we have a semicircle attached to. Is it? Yeah, it is a semicircle. Yeah. It's half of a circle, so it's definitely a semicircle attached to a rectangle. Yeah. Wait. Don't dead. Please don't dead. Alright. 36 to 43. Right? I mean, these people don't look too bad. I'm not even gonna lie. 44 to 51. Right? Oh, word. Yo, that question look weird. Hold on. Let me do this one before we go in. This one weird. I've never seen that. Yeah, let me at least explore that one. What it's a alright, really? Well, no, you're up on 2%, but come on, don't flap me entirely, right? So the question is, they say 0.008 times the number 25, and they want to know it in. They want to know it in standard form or scientific notation, whatever they want to call it, right? And the answers they give you is 2 times 10 to the minus 2, 2 times 10 to the minus 1, 2 times 10 to the 2, yep, I don't want that to look like a, there we go. Alright, so this is number 48. So let us put that together. Let's put that together. I want to see what this is. Okay. I think I see what they did here. This is okay. Let's see what them do. I see what them do. This, what is this? This is 8. Yeah, that part of the board is kind of, yeah. That's 8. You jump back how many times now? So the maths now. You jump back 1, 2, 3 times. Therefore, this is what you have. Yeah? Now that's one element of it. But if you wanted to break it down a little bit more, what you really have is 1 over 1,000 times 8 times 25. But if you multiply 8 by 1 over 1,000, you end up with this. Right? So let me put that in context for everybody, right? So this is the same as that right here. And the beautiful thing about multiplying is that the order matters not. Alright. 25 times 4 is 100. 100 times 2 is 200. Therefore, what you're going to have is 1 over 1000 multiplied by 200. Okay, so now we have a better idea as to what our answer is. Our final thing is going to be 2 over 10, or 2 times 1 over 10. Right? See here? 2 times 1 over 10. 1 over 10 is what? 10 to the minus 1. So therefore, it can't be this, and it can't be this. It could never be those. It's not going to be a positive exponent. And there's only 1 0. So it can't be 2 of them. Therefore, can't be that neither. Right? 2 times 1 over 10. 1 over 10 is 10 to the minus 1. Yeah. No, that was a unique one. I've never seen them put a standard form question like that. Right? You really had to, yeah, put your imagination to use for that question to come out. Yeah, that was different. So let me look and see what else. Let me see how far we have to go, and then run up on the road, and then I come back later. Alright, so what's the last number on this? 51. Okay, so the last number for this, right? So we have it starts at 44 and end at 51. And right now the last thing, it starts at 52 and end at 60. So I'm going to, when I come back, I do all of this, and by the time we're done, the next thing would be test number 4. So yeah, the aim is to finish all of test 3. Yeah, finish all of test 3 and do that when I get back. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do. So thanks for helping me to stay consistent. As I always tell you, honor your commitments, right? Discipline is everything when you do it every time. Yeah. So we will come back to all of this later in the evening.